Hello and welcome. We are coming to you from the headquarters of Outlook Group in New Delhi, and we are here to discuss our latest Outlook issue, which also happens to be our anniversary issue. I am Ruben Banerjee, the editor of Outlook, and joining me in this conversation are Sunil Menon to my left, who is our managing editor, and Pranay Sharma, our bureau chief and foreign editor. This happened to be our anniversary issue. Outlook has just turned 23 years. We started our journey in 1995, and over this period we have only grown in stature, and we have we have a footprint all across this country. And because it was our birthday issue, we decided to have a bit of fun. So this is our latest anniversary issue, and as you can make out from the cover, we decided to have some fun. So Sunil and Pranay, welcome. Pranay, you put a lot of effort into this, the cover and the concept. What do you think? Does it work?
Yeah, I think it does, because basically what we were looking at, we've had a number of serious covers, political ones or social ones. We thought this gives us a break from that, and why not? This was the best occasion to do so. It was having fun, talking about people who are well known, but at the same time also some of the weakness all of us we have, particularly those who are prominent public figures.
See, as you can see it, the fun that we had is basically politicians and people who are in public life, they keep doing somersaults. We call it flip-flops, turncoats. They say something today, they say something dramatically opposite the next day. So turncoats, it's turncoat with a Q, and this is how the cover package looks like. U turns ahead, and we have our Prime Minister, Mr. Modi, saying something in 1 year and then changing his stance maybe a few years down the line. Then we have Rahul Gandhi. Fantastic illustrations, very colorful, very entertaining. I think all of you will like it. Sunil, what do you make of our effort?
I think it actually worked, and in fact, even beyond that specific package, we had a lot of fun putting the rest of the package together also. I mean, although there is a kind of an essay section, the design that went into creating a lot of it actually was, the whole effort was geared towards enlivening it in various ways, primarily through design. But the essays, I would like to talk about a couple of them. It's a slender bouquet of essays, small but very fine essays, some of them.
The underpinning theme was the state of play in the nation, right?
Very much so, very much so. There's one section that looks at that, where
the challenges ahead.
The challenges ahead. I mean, for instance, the very lead essay can actually explicate it. In the sense, it's Akhil Bilgrami, professor of philosophy at Columbia. He kind of looks at the state of the nature of India's polity, and he kind of does not stay at the surface level of politics. He kind of goes to the deeper politics, and in fact, very, very complex concepts explained in the most refined and simple language, lucid language. This Gramscian hegemony and all of that. You can see political theorists making heavy weather of it. But this was explained in such a way that anyone can actually understand it. And he finally says, on the actual topic that he talks about, the idea of opposition parties, non-BJP parties trying to form a coalition to defeat the BJP, that cannot remain at the level of merely coming together and forming numbers. If you are forming an alternative to any idea, and it has to be, the alternative actually has to have some content, and it cannot just be an aggregation of your numbers. So it has to be on the level of politics that concerns the people. And
the same theme again, Sunil, is being talked about by Suhas Palshikar.
Exactly.
In a different way also by Ejaz.
That's right. These are the 2 or 3 pieces that relate directly to politics.
This is a lead essay by Dr. Akhil Bilgrami. And this is how it goes, and we have some great names writing for us this issue. Akhil Bilgrami, Suhas Palshikar, Subrata Bagchi of Mindtree fame, who talks about employment and the scourge of unemployment.
That's very important.
And yeah, that is something, a big challenge for this country at this moment. And he talks about how skilling youngsters.
and how like actually like risk capital actually, which is normally applied to the level of at the level of startups. He's saying actually at the very, very small humble level of a welder, a carpenter, it is actually risk capital that should be made available, not loans. I mean, without the fear of failure. And he talks about nano unicorns. It's a very wonderful concept. Person with maybe just one person employed, maybe he employs one more person, but a profusion of such things, because finally government schemes, there is a large gap, he says, between government schemes to create employment and the employable, our demographic dividend, which is masses of young people who are probably not college educated, but just out of school with no skills, how to skill them and create employment. So he's been working with the Orissa government actually, that's the...
And then there are other big names, Devdutt Pattanaik.
Devdutt Pattanaik is looking at a very interesting concept here, kind of taking off from the Sabrimala controversy, and patriarchy, how actually it informs almost every religion. He looks at Buddhism, he looks at Christianity, he looks at Islam, and patriarchy, he says, is not something that governs only the organized part of the religion, but actually lies at the core of their spiritual principles themselves. And therefore, then he comes to the Hindu side of things and wonders whether it's a conundrum. I mean, sometimes if you actually take patriarchy away from some of our practices, they themselves, to the extent that what is the extent to which we can actually modernize or actually rid older philosophical thoughts of patriarchy, and would they actually survive? It's a wonderful
that's a
piece
good
of
question to ask. But we also have something which we as journalists will be very keen on that, and I'm sure so would our readers, on the investigative journalism bit. Which
Yes. Again, there is a play between the older methods and the newer methods.
And what is being used now.
Anirudh Behel, who was our former colleague who did the cricket betting scandal in Outlook, later did Operation West End for Tehelka, and then went on to found Cobra Post. He talks about all the newer gadgets that are there, but at the end of the day, he says, there is no alternative to actually doing the surreptitious, meeting people at the car park, and wonderful little kind of history. We also have lots of other. There are a couple of micro history kind of pieces that we have. We look at Bangalore, which is very, very how Bangalore has changed from 1995 to now.
The profile of the city.
Profile of the city seen through one street, and
Brigade Road.
Brigade Road. And from Kerala we have the micro history of one small town, Angamali.
And the pork.
Okay, and the pork. And so we had a lot of fun doing all this.
And another thing which particularly struck me was because we are looking at state of play in this country, so we have taken a insightful look into how the media landscape has changed.
Exactly.
And one of the top guys who have written for us, and I take pride in the fact, it's Mr. Inderjit Badwar. Inder has written. He was the former editor of India Today and also happened to be my former boss. So I take extra pleasure in presenting Inder's column to you. He was my former boss and I owe a lot to him. So Inder's piece also...
yes, exactly. He starts from the 60s and how those days you actually had to travel third class by train. Probably a lot of journalists of the contemporary age will not be able to recognize themselves at all in the kind of method they had to employ.
Absolutely.
The sheer hard work they had to, he covered the famine in Bihar, talks at a great deal about that back in the 60s. And then in the 80s, how the landscape changed with, new technology coming in. And it was beginning to happen, computerization was beginning to happen, offset printing, this and that. But in the 90s, it just completely, and now 2018 we are, it's been a series of transformative, almost explosive kind of transformation. We are currently in the middle of one. I mean, the very fact that old print journalists like us are sitting in front of a camera and talking itself is an index of how things have changed.
And since we are celebrating our anniversary, we didn't really have chocolates or cut a cake, but we still decided to celebrate this watershed. And so we have the best of Outlook pictures over the years.
Some wonderful
Some of them
ones
are magnificent, gorgeous pictures that we have. And we have an old picture, I think it's from 1998. We have an old picture
of Yogi
where
Adityanath.
you see Yogi Adityanath with his own guru. Much younger Adityanath. Who knew at that point of time that this man will create waves? Then we have Bismillah Khan on a rickshaw. Amitabh Bachchan with Jaya Bachchan in the background, and Sachin Tendulkar relaxing in South Africa. Some marvelous pictures and very nostalgic, I thought. Pranay?
Extremely. Yeah.
The way about just one point I wanted to make about this Suhas Palchikar thing, of the way in which a serious essay we kind of try to tackle with a little bit of design input was it's you can see this here. He's talking about anger in society. Okay, how why is everyone so angry all the time? Social media is like an endless battlefield, and what brings that about? And it traces it to social phenomena, political phenomena, contrary pulls that are and forms of religiosity, homogenization. Like every mall everywhere is the same, whether you're in Guwahati, whether you're in Dubai, every airport looks the same, we all wear the same branded clothes. Where exactly that leads the modern day individual to a certain kind of spiritual impoverishment, and then finally he tries to overcome that, he or she, by sticking to identity, I am a Hindu, I am an Indian, I am a Muslim, I need to wear a skull cap, I need to go to Sabarimala, I need to do
but
this.
The picture used is very interesting.
Yes, so we use this Rudra Hanuman here, which is an image that an artist in Mysore had created and went viral to such an extent that you see it almost at the back of all auto rickshaws, taxis. Narendra Modi commented on it one time.
And since its outlook is 23 years old, we also turned a bit nostalgic, and so we look back ever since we have been around, and we have come out with our list, not the most authentic list, but I think to the best of our ability, 23 best films since 1995, and we give the reasons why we picked on these films. Then 23 books that we have, pretty exhaustive, and why they made it to a list. And then we also had 23 sporting icons and events which marked this journey since 1995. And apart from that, we haven't missed out on the usual dose of news.
Yes.
We have front of the book, we have talked about issues and stories that have been unfolding. So overall, I think it's really a worthwhile issue.
There's even in the essay on, it's one political thing that that's
The farmers
completely current right now is the Me Too controversy, and we have Kalpana Kannabiran talking about the internal debates within feminism. Actually, what the method of Me Too is, like public naming and shaming, to the extent that works, to the extent that actually it does not cover X number of women who are on the margins of society, and how older forms of doing politics, which is like with physical bodies, actually mobilizing people on the ground, and this form on the social media where you actually form solidarities with people you do not know, how the two can be actually brought together, some internal contradictions, trying to actually integrate an older form of politics with a new one. Very interesting piece actually.
So Pranay, how enjoyable or challenging was it to bring together this issue?
See, it was, because obviously when you are picking on well-known personalities, there's a bit of, some you're leaving out, some you're picking up. We did try and pick those, most of them, which can be easily identified. Many of our politicians, some of people from the film world, but also some older ones we've spoken about, which have been interesting. In fact, we start the entire package with a famous quote of Margaret Thatcher. What she had said about not doing the U-turn, but how despite that most others do, and we have tried and showed, even Mahatma Gandhi, who had tried to philosophize that, or
it's
even
probably better to do a U-turn once you realize that you're in the wrong.
Absolutely. In search of the truth.
Yeah, that's right.
Which triumphs there. So it was a very interesting package, I think.
There's one little thing you would want to say about this?
No, you go ahead.
Yeah, over the years, over these last 23 years, we've had lots of, for all this talk of digital, going digital and social media and all that, we still get a huge stream of letters written by hand on postcards, on envelopes, Indian letters. And so what we have decided is to actually honor some of them by actually displaying. They look really charming, and some of them are really whacked out, of course, and mostly they are spending all their energies in berating our efforts. So it's great fun going through them and hear some of it. And they really look like museum pieces. I mean, you know, and we had great fun doing this, actually selecting them.
So we greatly enjoyed putting together this issue, and I think you, all of you, will pick up this issue from the stands and also share our the excitement that we went through, we experienced. So see you, thank you, and we hope to see you next week again.